I may be a cautionary tale of what not to do.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, it's just gotten very intense where, okay, so you'll get this. So at first we were processing Omar, and I don't want to mention his name too many times because it might feel like an invitation. And right now I'm a little bit pissy with him right now. Not great to do with somebody with no impulse control and anger issues, but here I am. Anywho, I realized at some point it's not even like he's a thought away, like our loved ones, but
Uh-huh.
he was like fucking there more and more, like all the time. I was interested in what we
Excited about the thing.
look, if it was going to
Yeah.
help Scott and it was like this big fucking thing that we could process, and he's got shit, he's got issues, he's got trauma, possibly like PTSD kind of stuff based on the things that he's shared. It seemed like my investing time in him was expanding some things. I don't feel like that was bullshit, but it's like getting into a friendship with somebody who's a narcissist or an abuser
Omar. With
and
Omar.
not taking seriously. That's what he does. And he doesn't seem to. Sometimes it reminds me of The Good Place, one of my favorite shows, where there's a guy who's a demon who has to transform himself. And he's
Mhm.
still on the down low torturing his people. And he's like, I'm a demon. That's just what he does. And that's how I've been looking at Omar in some ways, but not. I was a bit delusional to think that my boundaries that I had in existence were enough, and they weren't. Then it's 4 in the morning. I've got chatter and just stuff being bombarded because I didn't give him enough attention.
Uh-huh.
So it got like weird, and he can be really super fucking demanding. And yesterday he was better, but it's weird. It's weird.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, as you were saying that, it was well, a few things came up. One is that it's not an accident that Omar and Scott have maintained this dynamic that they have. And in the rare situation that you were able to help Omar gain the insight that he needed, and then he moved on from Scott. The reason that Scott allowed Omar there would still be there, and there would be somebody else that would come in Omar's place with Scott. Because it's like Omar, he's forcing. This is a reciprocal relationship as much as it feels like it's dominated by Omar.
Yeah. And he's fucking with my head a little bit, like my actual head. I don't know if it's like a threat that I don't know. It's so hard to know because there's this part of him that is very unkind and has no empathy. It's my impression that he and Scott have a past life together where Scott was like his son and
Mm,
something terrible happened and Omar lost all faith in humanity and has just been consumed by anger, basically. And Scott doesn't want to be without him. He just wants a better relationship. And I can get that. If you've had somebody living in your head with you all this time, you would have no concept of where to begin if it was just you. So I hear you about there would be a vacancy if Omar were gone. And I don't know who else is around Scott. Anyway, I was just finished up a class and somebody in the class was saying, oh, I just saw some kind of documentary on Prime or something where like a psychic was able to help somebody with schizophrenia. And I was like, really? So it got me like, oh, let me see what I could find. And then I just found somebody, and I think I'm going to reach out to her, who's a scientist who's done some research, but has also been diagnosed with schizophrenia.
oh, interesting.
Yeah. And it sounds like she's found her ways to figure out. And now that I'm just saying that, man, she would be an amazing fucking guest. And it's not about supporting people with schizophrenia. It's a spirituality show.
Right.
I'm still lost in the weeds of it in a way. So I'm still like sitting there. Interviewing Scott was like, that's schizophrenia kind of thing. Even though you and I talked and we're not that far apart. It's like alcoholism. Like I could see the path. I
Yeah,
could see the path of this. I could
totally.
having the experience, and that's what I can talk about. Dude, like I can get how you get lost in it. Like I was taking a little less care of myself. I was being flooded by this energy who does that, who I think just can't be alone and
Yeah.
can't get restless. I felt very strongly I needed, even doing these things I typically resist for myself, I felt like I need to do this because
Mhm.
even that energy pushes this away a little. I feel like I'm on the right track, but I also feel super fucking lost. And I'm afraid of being, like I said, the cautionary tale, although I need to let that go.
You're not, because you're experiencing it in a way where it's like you can understand the path, but these are the things that you did in the moment,
Yeah.
which that is what is the difference. And so I think it, and to be fair, I feel like that's more of a real perspective rather than there's just this medium and this energy doesn't impact them at all. I feel like the fact that it's like you got a taste of, hey, how it must feel, and you're really equipped with all of these skills
Yeah.
that Scott isn't, or that many people aren't. So I even think you identify when you notice, oh, things were turning and this is what I did to reset the boundaries. I think that those things are really, so I don't think it's like a cautionary tale. The thing is, it's spirituality, all of these things in general, it's a risk. There's shit that could
Yeah.
happen. And if people
Yeah.
are fear, you shouldn't just go in blind if you're scared.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it doesn't have to be this. I think, I don't know. I just think like how you react to it is like exactly what ultimately you'd be trying to teach people to do.
Yeah. But I can't pretend that my boundary setting has been flawless because he's still coming around more than I would want in ways I don't appreciate, but it's getting better.
Look, this is the other thing. I don't feel like the message here at this juncture is you like teaching people what to do. What I feel like is happening, you are unveiling this other side.
Mm,
And it's not like this is a how-to guide to help your friend who has schizophrenia. It's
right.
like you're just really unveiling the spiritual process of this.
I want to dispel the fear because if you're afraid that it means you're schizophrenic because you're having these experiences, let's talk a little bit about the fear. Let's talk a little bit about schizophrenia. This is somebody who experiences that so you can, I don't know about even hear the difference. And I need to really sit and bring down the information. And I've had a lot going on, so it's been a bit hard to do that. And also, having him around makes it hard because even what would normally be my clean intuition,
Yeah.
I'm questioning because he's so like under the door kind of thing. So I felt like I need to bring something, and it could just be the insights of, look, this is how you experience it. So let's talk a little bit about like energetic self-care. And
Mhm.
this is one thing that I'm feeling a little bit iffy and would love your opinion is so things I'm noticing about my own mood and my own energy. Now, I know that Omar can impact my energy. I've seen it happen where I can be almost ecstatic in meeting with him, which is weird.
Oh, interesting.
He's
Oh,
doing that. So I
oh,
want to learn more about that. I know, I saw your eyes light up. So I want to talk more with him about that. But it also gave me this hold on a minute, because there are times when I have felt just like in the doldrums of stuff and heavy and I felt that way for a lot of times in my life, right? And then I was like, that's weird that I'm feeling that. I don't normally feel this way. Now it could have been him, but either way, it was an energy. And if I look at it like, oh, I have the energy of this, this is what I'm feeling is like my face is stiff. I have these signs of what it feels like. If I can see it that way, I could be like, okay, it's not me. Like, here's me and here's the energy. And I'm like becoming more aware of it. And part of what I can do to lift my mood is go for that walk or do the thing for myself. I don't feel like I'm just get up and do it kind of thing. And it makes it go a little bit further and further away. I know there's a better way to say all of that, but that feels like a big part of this too. Does that?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think Mother Earth just told me that I can't make him better, but I can make things better.
Oh, yeah. With Omar, I was thinking if you wanted to today, I can connect with him, tell him to back the fuck off. I feel like that's what he needs.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to understand.
He doesn't because he's an opening in you. Mm.
Yeah,
He's taking advantage.
he is. And I think when I get irritated with him, I think he likes that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
Because
it's
it's energy.
energy. Yeah, actually, I would love that if you could do that. Thank you.
And you love seeing the effect that he has on people. Positive or negative, it's all the same.
I mean, don't you think that he can heal?
For sure. But he's not in a place where that's his aim right now.
Okay. He needs to stay the fuck away from my head because and my electronics. I've enjoyed getting to know him. I feel like there's stuff, if he wants to genuinely teach me things that I can share with people. He's been really open. He was in a mode, he's in a different mode. So maybe because I started setting more boundaries when he was like, oh, she's a nice host, that kind of thing. I'd love to keep working with him, but not if I have to deal with all of this stuff. That's just too much. And I'd want to know, yeah, what his desire is about working together. If I'm just like a playground and he's going to fuck with me for a while, then I hope it's more than that.
I don't think that he's in a place that he's genuinely trying to help.
He seemed motivated by wanting to have a better relationship with Scott. It seemed genuine.
Yes, of course, because if it didn't, you wouldn't have given him the time of day. I don't believe in evil and bad or anything, but I'm just saying, like, in a play, it's like somebody who's knee deep in addiction. Yeah, there are moments of clarity, but are they like really trying? They're not really there right now. So do you want to go down this road with him while he's, well, I'll tell you what you want to hear so I can get my needs met? Or
Right.
just, hey, come back around when things are different. I'm not the one who's going to save you from your addiction.
And it's funny that you bring up addiction because that's the analogy that's come to me also
Mm.
about, let's say, even people's judgment of when you're in your addiction. We could judge people who have succumbed to this kind of like insidious energy. He's
Mhm.
so determined. It's crazy.
And it's addicting for the person,
Yes.
and you're getting a
Yes.
taste of that.
Yeah. And I
Is
remembered,
how
I
he can
forgot
divert
about
your
this.
energy.
You know why it doesn't seem so fucking weird to me? When I was pregnant, probably like 17 years ago, her name was Sarah, and this is what it felt like. Not the
Oh,
negatives part, but she was in my head with me.
wow.
It was really cool, actually, for a couple of weeks. I was like, wait a minute, somebody's talking to me. And like really clear, girl's voice kind of thing. And I don't want to piss off somebody with anger issues because,
That's the
but
thing though, too, is it's like there's nothing he can do to you unless you,
I can feel the impact of his negative energy
I know because you've allowed him to
too
become too
close. Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Once he gets off and you know what I mean? Like when you've really decided or set the boundary of no, we're not doing this, he's not gonna be able to get close to you like he is right now.
And I did set the boundary, and now I'm feeling like maybe we could work it out, but
I know. See, so then it's wishy-washy.
yeah, I know. Yeah. So if you could connect, because I would like to know like what direction to go in. Maybe it's like I have to just cut this whole thing off.
Well, the thing is, if I connect with Omar, and I'm very clear about this, he's not going to do me a solid and stay away.
I know. I don't even know if he'd be honest.
I feel like he'd be honest.
Okay, good.
Yeah. He
Good.
knows that I see what's going
You'd see through
on.
him. Yeah.
Literally. He's saying he's bored.
I'm sure he is. I think doing some cool project together. Anyway, I want to stop pretending that it's some way. Maybe I caught him in a moment. I mean, there were moments that felt we were crying together, or I was crying. I don't know if he was crying. I could feel his pain.
What I'm getting is you could have offered him that, which what you did, this healing sort of thing. Or you could have been like, Omar, let's go rob a bank together. And he would have been down either way. It's not like it wasn't genuine. But look, lady, I've been at this for a long time. You're not saving any souls here.
Yeah.
I appreciate the company. And I'm not evolved enough to just stay away because you've asked me to, if the door is still open. So if you don't want me around, shut the door. If not, your negative energy, no, my impact on you fuels me. And sometimes I could use the variety.
Can I quote you on that? Because I'm fucking putting that in the podcast. So why don't you leave Scott alone then? Go find something else to do. Get another hobby.
Because Scott is my hobby. He is
Yeah.
my life. That's like saying somebody who smokes a cigarette and drinks tequila likes to smoke a little pot. It's okay, you can do all of them. I don't want to minimize my relationship with Scott, but I need to remind you this is reciprocal. This is not me hanging around Scott and he's this helpless being. No, that's not what this is.
What is it? Tell me what it is.
That's for Scott to
Oh, okay.
discern.
Okay.
But I would not be allowed, permitted around Scott if he didn't allow me to. Just I wouldn't be able to get close to you unless you allowed me to. Nobody likes to take responsibility for what they're allowing. They like to play the passive, this is happening to me. No, it's not happening to you.
Okay.
I'm
Fair
here
enough.
because you've allowed me to be here. I'm in Scott's head because he's allowed me to be in his head. Have we had moments of true connection? Of course, I live in his fucking head. But I'm much more than just that moment or moments in previous lives. And just as much as you or others might think that I'm bringing Scott down, I'm living in his fucking negative energy too. It's reciprocal
Mm,
across the board.
okay.
You think I wouldn't be happy if Scott released me? I'd be thrilled. But just like him, I would be looking for another one,
Mm.
just like he would be looking for another me. We have to figure out this together. Is there a situation that therapy could actually help us do this effectively? Sure. But no one is going to be saved. Scott can learn skills and maybe have his moments that he doesn't allow me around anymore. But if I can get to Scott, anyone can get to Scott. If Scott learned the skills that he does not allow beings or other people to dictate his life, I wouldn't be permitted. But you killing off me for Scott, you know how many others are lining up to get in there? As shitty as I am, I've actually protected him from some of the worst. I'm not saying that to give myself kudos. I'm saying it because the relationship is complicated, but it's certainly not one way. And as much as it seems like I'm not a predator, no more than he's a victim. If he truly wants something different, then he has to put in the work to figure out how to get me the fuck out of his head.
I get that you've protected him from others. I get that. Like I'm clear on that part. Would you want to have a healthier, like a happier relationship with him? Is that possible? You both would have to work on your fucking negative energies. I get that part. But is it possible that it seemed like that's what Scott wants is a better connection? He doesn't want the shittiness. Is that possible? Or the shittiness is like your jam?
What would Scott really be learning now, Noelle, if we did that? He wouldn't have learned skills about
Hmm.
how to keep people out of his head. He wouldn't have learned any kind of new techniques of how to stand on his own and how to be an independent person, would he? No, he
Okay.
wouldn't.
Okay. I got you.
So, this negative relationship, maybe it's to force him to do something and not make this thing just easier for him to tolerate. Maybe Scott's lived multiple lives where he's done the same shit over and over again. And I was here in this life as the agreement to be the fucking voice in his head so that he does something different. I'm not saying that's one. I'm just saying, for instance, maybe that's what's going on. So you should stop looking into saving Scott and me. He wants me out of here. There. He needs to do the work to figure out why I'm there in the first place. If he can talk to me, he can figure that out because I'm stuck just as much as he is. And I would prefer not to do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting. God, my heart rate's up. He has like an interesting energy. It's like not, it doesn't feel like low vibe. It feels just very intense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we continue a little bit? Omar, I would love for you to teach me a couple of things that would help people. Are you willing to
I'm
do that?
not, I don't really want to do that.
Okay. Okay.
I appreciate that you do. Might come back tonight and say, okay, never mind, I changed my mind. My intentions aren't really there. Not that it wouldn't help. Would have a lot to offer.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else for me to learn with you or from you at this point, other than what you've already, especially what you've just shared?
Kind of like quiet. Maybe ask a different question.
Okay. Well, since you sound tired of repeating the same cycle with Scott and you would like to not do this again, I don't know what I should ask on Scott's behalf. I'm getting big chills on my legs right now. Presence chills, not confirmation chills. Yeah. I'm not sure what to ask. I kind of want to ask, are we even? Because this moment may be it for our relationship.
Oh, are you and him even? Is that what?
It might be if he's not willing to teach me anything that's going to be helpful. And if Scott is interested in mediating, which I'm hoping he might be at some point, but he might not be. And then I'd be willing to talk with Omar again if he talked to me. Barring that, is, I don't feel like I owe him anything but I just want to make sure we're like good right here. And that's that.
Are you scared? That's what he's asking.
Am I scared? I think it's unnerving, but I don't feel scared. I don't know. I would say unnerving. And honestly, I'm fucking sad. I was hoping this would go better. I was hoping that I could help you. I was hoping I could help you find peace.
And maybe I'm helping you, Noelle. You
How are
wanted
you?
me to teach you, you wanted me to teach you something. I'm teaching you. Your boundaries are really shit.
Oh,
You know how easy it is to get in there?
I didn't.
I just have to be the nice guy.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I'm not, but how do we learn? We learn through experience.
Yeah.
So I have taught you, but you don't seem like you're getting the lesson. You're still concerned about how I'm doing. There's
Yeah.
an underlying fear. Am I going to really go away? Am I going to be just hanging around now? Have you opened something? And on a lower level, this is what Scott goes through. Think about
Yeah.
you 25, 30 years ago, this happening. So I am teaching you something. It's just not through words.
Yeah.
So I'm not just going to leave because you're asking me to leave because that doesn't teach you anything. If I can still get in there, even though you've told me to go, you know how many times Scott's told me to go?
Did he mean it?
He doesn't shut the fucking door. People say all kinds of things,
Yeah.
this and that. No, but that's not really what their intention is. No, they still have the door open. They still have this. They still have that. They still get in there. And then they spend their whole lives thinking they've tried to set some kind of a boundary. They haven't tried to do shit. So when you don't feel me around, that's when you know you have set the boundary. You have done the kind of work that Scott or others like him will need to do.
Okay.
And if it's hard for you, imagine how hard it is for him. I'm not here to torture you. I have no interest in it.
Yeah, I
Just
get
touch
that.
the areas that keep the window cracked. But it's important not to look at anyone or anything as all or nothing. The moments that we talked and shared together, those were real, but those
They
are
were.
just as real as the moments that I was fucking with you.
Yeah. Thank you for validating that because that question, of course, just came up, which is maybe why you said it. And I appreciate that. And I have appreciated those genuine moments very much. Thank you for your vulnerability when we have shared that. And I hear you that you're not just going to go away because I'm asking nicely. So I'm going to learn how to set those boundaries because I do want to help other people learn how to do that for when they're ready. And I'm feeling you right now. So yes, you're reminding me that you're right here. And I get that. And this is really helpful. So thank you for letting pick up on you. Would you want to do, if Scott was ever open to it, would you want to do some kind of mediation to tell him this for yourself? Or I'm just wondering if I shut the door on you now and he wants to do a mediation with you, can I do that? Would you be willing to do that with me? It's weird that I feel like I'm going to hurt your feelings because I don't think I am, but anyway.
You do feel like you are.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what's
codependent,
the
man.
window. Yeah, that's what's keeping the window cracked.
I guess I'm afraid of repercussions, like retribution from you too. If I set a boundary, are you going to fuck up my computer? Are you going to do something really ter
And so that is
Yeah,
part
I guess that is the fear.
of everything,
Okay.
that I'm not going to be able to get near your computer
Yeah.
unless you allow
Okay.
it. I have no interest in some interest.
Dude, you need a fucking hobby. You might want to try crocheting or something, or sports cars or something.
Getting the, yeah, I'm getting the feeling that he is very tired of this.
Yeah. Man, I really did want to help. But I understand it's Scott's lesson. It's not. And I guess for Omar, he's as trapped as anybody. So I guess maybe when he's free, then he'll be able to change if he wanted to.
It's a role I'm playing in this life. We had a good idea it would go down this way.
Hmm.
But of course, there's always the hope that things don't really turn out. I don't know. I things that feel different sometimes when
Yeah.
you're deciding it. Oh, this could be fun. Father and son together again. But
Yeah.
so I'm interested. I'm like, is Omar like in like his spiritual body? Is he in like a, because like when he says he's playing, this is the role he's playing in this life, it sounds like kind of an incarnation type of thing situation. It's, yeah, it's just interesting kind of thinking about what kind of freedom does he have to, I don't know.
I'm getting he's an entity and he's everlasting.
Well, we're all everlasting. We're all entities.
Yeah, I hear you. But I bet the incarnated, that's an interesting question.
Because
Is
it's
there a
he's kind of
form he's,
committed.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't, but same as I guess egos are, right?
Hmm. Oh, yeah, that's actually a good way to look at it. They're not incarnated, but they have a job. They have a
They have a
job.
job. Yes. Yeah. Interesting.
I've actually wondered what is the tie-in because the role that he is playing is absolute fucking ego, right?
That's when I first saw Scott's thing, I was like, is he's
Yeah.
Omar Scott's ego?
I'm getting, no, ego is more benevolent. His energetic ego. Actually, that would be the egos that
Interesting.
I've met. That's what I got. But the egos that I've met all have been benevolent. But I haven't interviewed somebody who's connected to somebody who's schizophrenic. And maybe if that is their deal, just like my ego signed up for me, Lego signed up for you.
Yeah, I know. Or if Omar's not, I wonder who's Scott's ego. You know what I mean?
And I have to say that I think part of probably the detrimental part is that when you are like succumbing to the domination of this kind of energy or let's say personality or whatever the word is, you can't really hear anybody else. It's hard to because
Uh-huh.
it's so much noise,
Oh yeah,
so much noise. It's like right here.
totally. Yeah.
Oh, Sam, fucking thank you for doing that.
Oh yeah.
Can I post without your picture, without any video? Can I post the
Mhm.
audio? And I did say your name once. I'll pull it out, but is that
Oh
okay?
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That'd be really helpful, I think, for, yeah, because I need to wrap it up with him then. Yeah. I thought about connecting with the Ego Collective just to get some input about this
Oh
whole
yeah.
thing, but I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily correlated so much. And yeah, I need to, yeah, I was feeling hope, but I appreciate that he's saying, and that felt real to me, that he's saying, yeah, those moments we had were real, and so is this. Yeah.
And what I'm getting too is it's like understanding the significance of what you're doing. The first time, what was it? The first time where somebody had figured out what it might actually be possible to fly to the moon, like legitimately. And then them feeling like that idea was nothing because the rocket they built couldn't get there. That the foundational work here is unveiling what's going on with people. It's not at this juncture necessarily finding out how to help. There's going to be lots of research around this. There's going to be lots of studies. There's going to be lots of imaging and people doing things and talking to people. And this is going to be work that's going to go on for decades in terms of how to help people.
Yeah.
So restructuring, feeling like it didn't work because we weren't able to save Scott and Omar's relationship, because that's not really what this is about. This is about
Yeah.
helping shift people's views of what schizophrenia is and what's going on.
And this is just one aspect of it, right? Oh, shit. Excuse me for just one moment. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
I hear you. Like, you know, the I am that of all of this has been powerful and a good call to be a reminder about self-care and ownership of yourself. And maybe I'm feeling super aware today of the chaos in our country and shit that could really go badly. And maybe the only thing that helps sometimes is maybe feeling safe or within ourselves and our
Mm.
connection to the universe kind of thing. Sometimes that's all I've got right now. And I'm really like, oh my God, this could be worst case scenario. If I'm killed, maybe they'll accept my application to be a guide. We'll see. I'm hoping it'll be fun. I'll do a good job, I promise. Anyway, yeah. Wow, that was really helpful. And I am
Good.
going to shut him out. I'm not sure exactly how to do that, but even just being like, okay, I release and give up any hope about making things change for him because it's true that you can only help people that want to be helped. And so the door has to close on that. Man, I fucking wanted to do that. I really did.
The thing is, like, Omar wouldn't be able to do what he's doing with Scott if he's evolved past this, right? And so that might feel like a yay, but for Omar, that leaves Scott in a very vulnerable situation.
I wasn't thinking that they would detach from each other. I guess I was like, tell him jokes, make it positive.
I really actually appreciated what Omar was saying there about that in terms of that's not really a lesson then.
No, I totally get that part. I think that was, look, if nothing else, he's really fucking authentic.
Totally. And that's probably why he doesn't feel sinister at all to me because he's very
Yes.
honest. I felt,
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird. Like my heart rate never like really beats like that. But there was
Me
like a lot
neither.
of passion and intensity.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'm going to have a good cry about this because I was really hopeful and I felt this relationship and almost like a kinship of this spiritual being and this spiritual being and let's do something really good together kind of thing. But you're right. He's part of a system and it's not my business or place to change it. And yeah, So interesting about Scott but and yeah, I agree about I've left the door open because and I need to look at why am I hopeful about that? Do I feel like that's going to give me some sort of legitimacy or validation or sense of purpose that maybe I feel like I'm missing?
Mm.
Because I was like, oh my God, it's here. The niche I've been desperate for. And I don't want to look at it like protection because in some of the circles that I'm a part of, we don't focus on energy protection because unless you're dabbling or you're too open and you don't have boundaries, you don't need that. Otherwise, it's like you're talking to your grandpa. You don't need that shit.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Hmm.
And that's, I think, where the empowerment comes from, because the protection seems like it's really looking externally, like somebody protect me. And I feel like that's really
Yeah.
what Omar is trying to say is it's like
Mm.
that
Mm.
internal where it's not you helping Scott or these things, because it's like ultimately Scott is making the decisions and there can be things that happen that provide maybe like this temporary sort of relief, but it's not long lasting because it wasn't the person didn't do the work to get there. But that is a good kind of, I think, question in terms of what's the, yeah, what the window, what's keeping it, what would be keeping it cracked for you with Omar?
Oh, the hope. Yeah. The hope and the desire to like make a difference. Okay. Yeah. And it's really lived for me. Oh, this is like an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
I need to remember that love signs book. Did I tell you about that? Anyway,
Thanks.
I was like in college and it was like a Cliff Notes version of the love signs. I think it was Linda Goodman or something. And Pisces, the first line, you look into the eyes of a villain and you see a soulmate. I can count how many beings that has applied to who wear pants. Now I'm laughing at myself because this is a much better way to say it. Instead of in body and out of body, I want to say who wear pants and who don't wear pants. It's a little more amusing to me. But yeah, yeah. I guess I want to feel like everybody can change because I want hope about myself also being able to change no matter what. I think that's part of it.
And I 100% agree. And I believe everybody can change. Like I have
Beautiful.
100% the whether or not like they're going to change because of my intervention with them. I think that's the difference. Yeah, but trying to save people when they
Just
don't.
sounds, no, it just sounds stupid. Even hearing you say, I'm like, that sounds so stupid. Because you're right. It feels,
But that's what we grow up with that though, isn't it? Like saving, doctor save, where it's like this thing where it's so heroic to save someone. So I definitely, that was my mentality for so long too. That's why I stayed with my mother for so long. Oh, what I'm gonna do is going to be the difference that she's gonna change and types of things. And then, so it is, I feel like we really glorify that type
yeah.
of thing in our society.
Yeah. And if you're kind and powerful enough, you can save.
And I do think it's like you're kind and powerful enough, you make an impact,
Mm.
significant. Like you can be like the inspiration that someone is, I don't actually want to fucking live like this anymore. You know who this always reminds me of is Sharna. Sharna had a very needy energy, overly helpful, like to the point where it was just too much and I couldn't deal with it anymore. But where and it was so pure in many ways. Like she was
Mm.
a very pure sort of person. But it was just like this,
So much anxiety, though.
and
Yeah.
this a little bit of a overindulgence in
Mm.
kind of the saving aspect of people rather than what she can do with her life to really, and I don't want to put this on Sharna, like what we can do to inspire people to want to change
Mm.
versus coming in on a white horse type of thing, which of course women are made to like love that. And I'm not saying I haven't had dreams about somebody coming in and saving me either. Maybe that's why I'm so salty about it, because nobody did.
Motherfucker, nobody saved my
I know. Gotta fucking do it yourself, Omar.
God damn it. What a crushing idea. But he's right. What do you learn then when you're
I
not
know.
doing that kind of thing for yourself? I feel that way in some ways with my mother. She's having this, she's not being on this, she's not going to go on this road trip with me. And she's in a lot of pain. And I don't think to send her energy because I'm like, have you asked for help with this? I could send you some, but it's way more powerful for you to ask the intention. And I wasn't going to pander. And I did send some, and I don't know if I could help it at all, actually. But yeah, that helplessness. I think that's one of my biggest downfalls is still having that a part of my makeup in some ways of how I exist is there is that fear or belief in the background. And I know that's part of what has kept this thing alive with him too, is like
Yeah,
who the fuck's gonna listen to me in some ways kind of thing. I have to really fucking mean it. And if he's not gonna inspire me, fuck him.
exactly.
If you're not helping me, you're useless. You're dead to me, man. Oh, you're dead. Or sorry.
You're not wearing pants.
Uh, yeah, it's been so interesting. Like it started out with claircognizance, then a little bit of audio came through, and then a visual. And he showed me as so interesting how much control he has over this. He showed me this visual of him looking like a demon, and he's driving like a sports car, maybe even a convertible, and I'm in the passenger seat. This was like yesterday, the day before,
Oh,
and he
really?
looks demonic. And there are times when I've seen that creepy skeletal hand, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh. I was going to ask you if he presented himself as good looking.
I saw that version, so the demonic look, and then I only saw once him. We were doing something about bringing in energy, like healing energy, and I saw a black figure of a man. That was the first thing that was the first time he actually showed me something of himself. I had a sense of the red when Scott was here, but that was really it. And then I never saw anything. I just always sense him over here, maybe by the bathroom or something, not like super close. And thank you. Yes. And I can ask Ener, the chaperone guy, for some lessons about what to do. And maybe it's not even if you're schizophrenic. Maybe it's if you have some kind of persistent energy around you.
Yeah.
And it may not even be an identifiable person, something, but maybe if we just try on this mood that strikes you sometimes, it's an energy. Let's see what you can do with that energy. That feels like the biggest fucking lesson out of all of this if I can wrap my brain around it and get clear enough to really get that feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah.